want to welcome every one of us again to the day 2 of our capacity development training on behalf of Third Prime of Nigeria and also the Ministry of Education, Botswana. I'm greeting every one of us good morning, and I hope that we enjoy our yesterday and we were able to practice one or two things as regard the use of Office 365, PowerPoint, and then Office 365 Excel. So please, if you can hear me clearly, kindly give a thumb up in the chat box so that we can just start straight away. If you can hear me, just give a thumb up. Okay, good morning, Mr. Shan. Good morning, Mr. Tiwadi. Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Kemboye. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. So without wasting our time, because we have a lot to cover during this session, and by the grace of God, we're going to enjoy today's training session. And again, I expect us that at the end of the training, we should just lay our hands on our gadgets and begin to make use of what we are going to discuss this morning. So without wasting our time, let me quickly do a recap of what we did yesterday. I know that we don't have much issue as regard Office 365 PowerPoint, so I'll be going straight to Excel, Office 365 Excel. So I will be doing a recap of what we did yesterday. I will be talking on percentage and also our grading system in Botswana. So I want to share my screen now so that we quickly do a recap of what we did yesterday, and then we'll move on straight to what we have in store today. All right, so I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, so if you can see my screen, please just give a thumb up or you say yes in the chat box. If you can see my screen, just let me know by saying yes or giving a thumb. Yes, thank you, Mr. Sheen. All right, okay. So yesterday we look at Office 365 Excel with respect to using it to perform data entry, to perform data analysis, and also report generation. Now, in analyzing our data as educators, we know that there are some key analyses we perform as teachers. One of them has to do with the summation of our students' scores, finding the average of our students' score, finding the position of our students in the classroom, and also the percentage score of our students, and last, which has to do with the grade of our student. So let's quickly do a recap. And I want us to follow, especially those of us that didn't get how we did percentage yesterday and how we did position yesterday. And then today we'll be looking at the grading system. So I have 6 students here with their score in English, mathematics, social science, technology, and basic science. So 5 subjects, and then for each of the 5 subjects, the mark obtainable, let's assume that the mark obtainable is 30. So that's the mark obtainable for each subject. So for example, Franklin scored 21/30. In English, he scored 14/30. In mathematics, he scored 27/30. In social science, he scored 15/30. In technology, and then he scored 10/30 in basic science. So we want to do the summation of Franklin total score. as we discussed yesterday, we just come to our formula bar, or if you don't want to use our formula bar, we can just highlight everything and then we click on the summation icon, the summation ribbon on our home tab, the summation ribbon on our home tab. So that is what I just did. So I just click the summation ribbon on our home tab and you can see the mark obtained by Franklin. But let me make use of the formula so that we can know how to use formula, even create our own formula by ourselves without using the already automated formula on our ribbon. So I have equal to here, then I call out the function sum. I opened a bracket, then I have score 1, which is in English, to the last score, which is G2, column G, row 2. So I put G2 there. You can see that it's giving me the same sum total of 87 for Franklin. So the next thing I will do is just to draw it so that it will apply to all other students. So you can see what I just did. I want to believe that every one of us were able to get this yesterday. So this is the mark obtained. That is the sum total of all the scores of the students in each of the subjects. Then don't forget that I said the mark obtainable is 30. So if we multiply 30 by 5, that will give us 150. So 150 is the mark obtainable. 150 is the mark obtainable. So we can just draw that also downward. So the mark obtainable for the
Kenny,
subject.
I think you can reshare the screen again. We can't see the screen.
Okay, let me just close it then, sir. Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So let me just quickly go back again. I want to believe we know how we'll get our sum, the sum total of all the scores. We can just select everything, all the scores of the student, and then call out our sum function from our ribbon, from the home tab, so we can see the sum function. There we just click on the sum function, so it will automatically bring out the sum total score of all the students. So that is the mark obtained. Then I said earlier that each of the subject, the total score that the student can actually score is 30. So in 5 subjects, that will make it 150. So the mark obtainable for all the students is 150. So that is constant. Then let's go to the average. Again, the same way we did it yesterday, we call out the average function from our formula bar. Just type equal to average and then you open the bracket, then you select the scores of the subject. So please, when you are selecting the scores of the subject, don't include the mark obtained. I will equally show us how we can make use of the mark obtained instead of selecting the scores of each of the subjects. So let's just do it this way. So we can see that the average score of Franklin is 17.4. So if I don't want to do it that way, there's another way we can do it. We can just come here and say average is equal to mark obtained, which is 8 H2, that is column H row 2. And Franklin did is 5. And you just divide it by 5, and then you can see that it gives me the same answer. Then I can just draw the arrow downward to fill the other average scores of my students. So that is how to find the average. Then I don't want it to come in decimal place. I want to remove the decimal I want it to be a whole number. So what can I do? I can just come to my home tab where you have my cursor, where we have number. So you can see two, let me say 0000 dot with one arrow facing right and then with one arrow facing left. So we have increased decimal, we have decreased decimal. So in this instance now, we want to decrease the decimal. So we just click on this. You can see that it's no longer showing the decimal point. So I'm having my average now as a whole number. So for Franklin, the average score is 17. For Paul, the average score is 19. For John, the average score is 16. For Shidera, the average score is 13. For Stone, the average score is 30. Then for George, the average score is 14. So that's how to find our average. Then we'll move on to position. And don't forget what I said yesterday, that position has to do with ranking. So how do we rank our students? Very simple. You just call out the function again. Don't forget the equal to sign. Whenever you are calling out a function or a formula, always include the start with equal to sign in your formula bar. So I have rank, then I want to use the average for the position. So the average score, that's what I want to use for the position. So the average score is in column J, So I'm starting with Franklin, which is row 2. So I click on this. Then the next thing that I would need to do here is to put comma. Then after that, I now press my $sign, J, press my $sign again, then to the last one here, which is 7. That's the last student here is in row 7. So 7. Then I close the bracket. So, okay, $sign, J, and $sign 7. So I close the bracket. Now, let me quickly explain the function of the $sign, because I expect us to ask the question yesterday. Now, putting the $sign in front of our column and our row is actually specifying the fact that it will take that column and row as an absolute reference, So that column and row will remain a constant throughout the usage of that formula. So if I copy the formula from one cell to another, so with the $sign that I've put in front of my row and my column, it makes it an absolute reference, to that formula. So the formula, the value will not change. So we see it as an absolute reference set. So that is the essence of putting the $sign in front of our formula. So once we input the formula, we press enter. So you can see here that Franklin came third. So I want to check out the position of order. I just draw my mouse cursor downward. So you can see the position of my students. Franklin is third. Then, okay, let me just minimize it so that you can see it very well. Okay. So Franklin is third, Paul is second, John is fourth, Shidera is sixth in the class, Stone came first, and then George also came fifth. So that is how to find our position. Now, we've done all that one yesterday. So the one we actually want to quickly concentrate on today has to do with the percentage and the grade. Now, for us to find the percentage, also very simple. So you put your cursor where you want the percentage to begin. That is, you make the cell active by clicking on that cell where you want the percentage to start from. Then you call out the equal to sign also. Then what do I want to use for my percentage? I want to use the mark obtained with the mark obtainable. So I want to use my mark obtained to find my percentage. So what I just need to do, this is the column for the mark obtained, which is column H. I will just call out column H2 divided by the mark obtainable. So this now for me to make it an absolute cell reference, I will need to use the dollar sign also here. So you put the dollar sign there, I, dollar sign again, row 2. So once you do this, you just press enter. Where am I? Okay, I'm putting one there. It should be I, not one. No. I. So you press enter. So you can see. Let me do that again so that I won't confuse you. So I want to get the percentage. Let me minimize it. So percentage for Franklin. So we are going to use the mark obtained against the mark obtainable. So for the class, the total mark obtainable is 150. And then Franklin scored 87. So how do we get the percentage? Very simple. Come to your formula bar, press equal to sign. The mark obtained of Franklin is in cell H2. So you put cell H2 here, divided by then the mark obtainable, which is dollar sign I, dollar sign 2. Then you press enter. So that is 0.58. Yet it's not yet in percentage. What we just need to do here is that see the percentage icon in one of our ribbons under the home ribbon. So you can just click the percentage here. You can see that it's changed it to percentage. Another way you can do it is that you just do it straight away from here. Dollar sign I, dollar sign 2 multiplied by 100. So you can, because I've put it in, okay, let me just, so let's just use the normal one, okay, H2 dollar sign I dollar sign 2. So we have the percentage to be 58%. So I want to reduce the decimal. So you can just draw it down. So you can see here that Franklin has 58%, Paul has 63%, John has 54%, Shidera has 42%, Stone has 100%. He actually scored 30-30 in all the subjects. Then George also has 48%. Maybe peradventure, Stone scored 28 in social science. You can see that it has changed its percentage. Or let's say he scored 24 in mathematics. You can see that automatically it changed the percentage to 95. Now we quickly want to do the grade. So let's quickly do the grade. Now for us to do the grade, we make use of the if function. So we have, so let's say in our old school, anybody who scores 70 and above, 70 to 100 is A, 50 to, let's say 60 now, 60 to 69 is B, and 50 to 59 is C. Then let's say from 40 to, okay, let's say from 0 to 49 is fail. So this is our grading system. So how do we do that here? And then I want to make use of the percentage for the grading. I said that if you want to do the grading, we make use of the if function. You come to the formula bar, equal to, you put your if there. So once you put your if there, you open the bracket. So I'm having the percentage on L, column L. So we have L2 greater than or equal to 70. If L2 is greater than or equal to 70, then return A. That is, the student has A. So that is one condition. Then you put a comma there. Then another logical test is if you call if function again, open the bracket again. If L2 is greater than or equal to which one now? 60. You can see what we are doing here. Then comma, you return B. Return B. Then comma again, you call another if function, and that has to do with if L2 is greater than or equal to 50. If L2 is greater than or equal to 50, what are we going to call? We call C. That is, the student will have grade C. Then if otherwise, if it is otherwise, the student will have F. The student will have F. That is, if the student didn't score between 50 and 59, it should return F for the student. It should return F for the student. So once you are done with the logical value, then you count the number of brackets that you open. We open 3 brackets here, and you close it with 3 other brackets, and then you press enter. Okay, now if you look at what I just did, I want to believe you are following. There is one omission that I made there, and I want to show us. Now, if you look at our percentage here, ordinarily these students score 58%. It's supposed not to be failed, but there is an error in the function that I called here. And this is where every one of us, we need to be careful whenever we are inputting, value or formula or calling out function for our Excel calculation. So the only error there is that I failed to put percentage there, because in this column there is nothing called 70 there. What is there is 70%. So there should be percentage in front of those scores. There should be a percentage in front of those scores. So once I'm able to correct that, you can see now that it has returned the normal value that should be there for me. So I can now draw it down. So you can see the grading. So 58% is C. That is what the function is saying here. That if my students score 50 and above is C. If you score 60 and above, you can see that this one scores 63% is B. Then if you score 54 is C. If you score 40 between 0 and 49 is fail. You can see fail here. Then if you score 70 and above, you can see that this one score A, and you can see that this one also failed. So that is how to perform grading using Office 365 Microsoft Excel. So without wasting our time, I quickly want to move on to the assignment that I gave to us yesterday. Let's quickly, do that. Now, the assignment says that we should compute the class feeding of 10 workers, which I've done here. I have 10 workers here: Ben, Joel, Sam, Peter, Jonah, Thomas, Bar, and so on. Then for the allowance, these are the allowances here. So we are asked to compute tax, 3% tax of their income. So what we just need to do, the first thing we need to do is just to find their gross pay. That is the total emolument they are taking home, and that is just summation. So you just highlight the amount that the first worker is collecting, which is Ben. So then the next thing you do is just to draw it down. Then you can see that I've gotten my gross pay. Then the next thing for us is to get the tax. The tax is 3%. So what you just need to do here, you call equal to 3 divided by 100. Then you multiply it by the gross pay. Then you press enter. So you can see that Ben is paying 31 naira 350. So that is what Ben is paying. So the instruction says we should have it in three decimal place. If it is 2 decimal place, if it is 1, you can see. So if it is 1, this is 1 decimal place, this is 1 decimal, this is 1 decimal place, this is no decimal place at all. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. If it is 4 decimal, so that is just the assignment that I gave to us. So those of us that got the assignment correctly, we can just give ourselves a clap. So let me just check the chat box. If you get the assignment correctly, just clap for yourself. So I'm waiting. If you get the assignment, okay, well done, Tefo. You got the assignment correctly. Okay. So any other that got the assignment correctly? Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So quickly, we want to move on straight away to what we have in stock for us today, what we need to do today. So let's quickly move on to that. I will stop sharing my screen now. No problem if you do the task on basic. So far you got the formula for calculating the task and then the logic also. So no problem. Okay, thank you so much. All right. So to those of us that got the assignment correctly, I also give you a thumb up from my hand here. Hopefully, what I'm going to give us today also will be able to get it correctly tomorrow also. Thank you, Moses. Well done. So quickly today, we want to look at another very powerful and important application in Office 365. And that has to do with Microsoft Teams. Now, as educators, there is need for us to engage our learners even beyond the four walls of the classroom. And if there is one application that comes with Office 365 that can help us to collaborate with our learners, that can help us to actually shift whatever we are doing in the classroom, to the virtual world, it is this one app called Microsoft Teams. With Microsoft Teams, whatever that you can do in your physical classroom, you can equally do it in your virtual classroom. You can engage your learners, you can give them notes, you can give them assignments, you can grade their assignments, you can collaborate with them, you can share projects with them. In fact, you can do a whole lot of things with Microsoft Teams. So today we'll be looking at Microsoft Teams, and also we're going to be looking at OneNote, which is equally very useful when it comes to Microsoft Teams. So I want to share my screen now. I want to take us straight away to Microsoft Teams. And thank God that even the platform that we're using now, we're using Microsoft Teams. So the same way we are engaging ourselves on this platform, it is expected of us that in no distant time, that we equally should start engaging our students via Teams on Office 365. So the same way we picked our PowerPoint, the same way we log into our Office accounts with our username, with our password, and then you go to app, you select your PowerPoint, you select your what's it called now? You select your Excel. That's the same way you equally select your Microsoft Teams. So I want to share my screen with you so that we just move on from there. Let me see. I want to share my screen so that I can, okay. It's this one. All right. So I'm sharing my screen now. So please, if you can see my screen, just give me a thumb up. If you can see my screen. My Microsoft Teams screen. So if you can see it, just say "I." Let me just have somebody say yes on the chat box so that I can be sure that everyone is seeing my screen. All right. Okay, thank you. So I have this is my Microsoft team screen. So if you equally launch your own Microsoft Team application, this is where it will take you to. But there are some things that you are seeing on my own that you may not see on your own. For example, what you are seeing on my screen here are all the themes that I either created or I belong to. So, but for your own, you may be seeing blank theme here. But once you launch your Microsoft theme, you will equally see your tabs. You will see the activity tab, you will see the chat tab, you will see theme, you will see assignments, you will see calendar, you will see call, you will see app. I will still talk about all this in the course of the training. But for this training, basically there are about 9 things that we're going to be looking at under Microsoft Team. 9 things. Number 1 has to do with what Microsoft Team is all about, which I've told us. Microsoft Teams give us the privilege of engaging our students remotely, give them assignments, monitor their progress, give them projects, and equally collaborate with them and engage them virtually. So that is what Teams has to offer. Unlike PowerPoint, which is used for presentation, Excel is used for data analysis, Microsoft Team is basically used to engage our students virtually and for remote learning. Let me just use that word. So we use Microsoft Team for remote learning, remote meeting, remote engagement, and so on. So the next thing is for us to know how to launch our Microsoft Team, which I've told us. There are 3 ways we can launch our Microsoft Team. 3 ways. Number 1 is either you download the app. You can download the app on your mobile phone. You can equally download the app on your system. So once you download the app, then you just sign in with your username and your password. So the same username that you use for your Office 365 account, so that's the same username and password you use it to sign in into your Microsoft Team. So you can equally use the web version. So you can use the web version of Microsoft Teams. So instead of downloading the app, you can make use of the web version. You just go to teams.microsoft.com. Teams.microsoft.com. Then the last but not the least is for you to even select it from your Office 365 account. So just go to portal.office.com, then log in with your username and password, and then look for where you have apps, and then you select Microsoft Teams from the apps there. So that is how to launch your Microsoft themes. So once you launch your Microsoft theme, that leads us to number 3 things that we need to learn this morning. It has to do with navigating the tab. Navigating the tab. So this is my theme. Now, so as I have told us, so we have different tabs here. We have different tabs. We have the activity tab. So if you click on the activity tab will just show you what has happened in your team. What has happened in your team. So that is what activity chart will display for you. Now, if you click on chart, the chart will bring out where you can actually see all the charts, all the notifications, all the conversations. Chat is where you converse. You converse with each other. You can converse with your team member. So once you click on chat, you see that also there. Then we have the team. You click on team. You usually see all the members of your team. So I've clicked my team now. You can see all the teams that I belong to. So if you click on the team tab, so you will see all the team that you belong to. So you can see I have your team. That is my team. I have Ogun ICT and so on and so. So these are all the teams that I belong to here. Then assignments. So you use this to give assignments to your students. We have calendar here. So when you want to schedule a meeting, you make use of the calendar. Then, and if you want to make a call, you also make use of this tab. So that's the third thing, navigating through the tab. Just click on the icon on the tab and then it will direct you to where you are going. Then the number 4 thing that we'll be looking at this morning, and that is actually what we came to do this morning. How can we create a class team? Remember that the essence of this training is for us to use team to engage our learners remotely. So there is need for us to know how to create a class team. How to create a class team. So how do you create a class team? I want everybody to pay attention now. How do you create a class team? Like I said, if you want to create a team, you come to your tab where you have team. So you click on it. So it will bring out this box for you. Now on the right hand corner where my mouse is, you will see join or create team. Join or create team. So you click on it. So I've clicked on it. So you can see it brings out some things for me. Here I have create a team. Here I have join a team with a code. Maybe there is a team that has been created and then a private team that has been created. Then I can actually, if I have access to the code, I can join a team with a code. Then these are public team. Any team that is public, anybody can join it. So far you are part of that organization. So these are the teams that has been created in my organization that are public. So if I decided to join them, I will just click on join team and then I'm good to go in their midst. But here now, we want to create our own team, our own class team. How do we go about that? Very simple. So I will click on create team. Now, you see what it brings out for me here. It says select a team type. So basically in Microsoft Team, there are 4 types of teams that you can create. You can create a class team where you discuss group projects and you do assignments. You can create a team for professional learning community. You can create a team for staffs in your school. You can create a teams for others, maybe for club, your church activities and so on. But what we are interested in today has to do with class. We want to create a class team. So what you just need to select is you click on class. Now, here now, it's asking you supply the name of your team. So I want to supply the name of my team as Botswana High School. One. That is Botswana High School Junior 1 students. That is the name of my school. Then it's asking me for description. Maybe and description is optional, as you can see. Maybe I just want to add it. This team belongs to Botswana High School Junior 1 students only. So that is just the description. Anybody that see the team, we know that this team belongs only to Botswana High School Junior 1 students. So once you're done with that, you click on next. So you see it's creating a team. Then once you do that, the next thing is to add students to your team. So already in your organization, they will have profiled all your students into your organization. So once you are creating your team now for your class, you just call out the name. So let me just call out some names here so that I can add it to my GS1 class. So I have, let me add students dates. Let me add another student. You can see students. Okay, let me add another student. Let me add about 4 students from here. Okay, this is another student. Okay, okay, this is another student. So in this my class team now, I want to add 4 students. You can equally add teacher. Maybe you have a teacher that will be assisting you with the class. You can come here and equally add a teacher there. So maybe I want to add 1 teacher to my own. Okay, okay, I have a teacher here. So and then you click add. So you can see here, I've added a teacher to my team and I've added 4 students to my team. So I've added 4 students to my team and I've equally added a teacher to my team. So once you are done with that, the next thing is just for you to click on close. You click on close. Now, I have succeeded in creating my team. So this is my team now. You can see where it brings me to. It said, welcome to Botswana High School Junior 1 students. Welcome to Botswana High School Junior 1 students. So once you do that, once you have created your class team, here you can start a new conversation under post. If you look at where my cursor is, I have post here. Maybe I want to welcome everybody. My student, you can just click on conversation. You can say, welcome, my dear students. So all your students, they will receive the notification. So that is the function of the post that you are seeing here. Then file, maybe if you want to add file. So you can click on this. Then you can now begin to add file, to that your chat platform. So all the students that you have added to your class, whatever you put under this general, they will have access to everything that you are putting there. Now, where we're actually going is this, and I want us to pay attention here. So we have created our team, Botswana. So we have the home page. Yeah, we can do a lot of things here. We can change the picture. Maybe we have the picture. We can change the name. Even if you want to change the name, we can change the grade level. Maybe our own is secondary. You can change it here. Maybe our own. We want to. You are art and design teacher. You can change it here. You want to use this as the profile picture. So once you select all this, you just come down and then you click update. So you can see my update here. So you click update. So you can see that it has changed the icon. Now see what I typed the other time. Welcome my students. So all my students in this team will see what I typed here for them as a welcome message. So this one is just like you chatting with your learners. Then here we have the home page. Then we have the class notebook. I will come back to this because this is also one area we need to pay a very great attention to. So if you click on class notebook, so this is where you equally engage your learners. There are a lot of things you can do here. Here is where you collaborate with your learners, you engage them, you give them the normal work that you are doing in your classroom. So you can do that using the class notebook. Then we have the assignments. If you want to give your learners assignments, you make use of this. Grade. You want to grade the assignments, you make use of the grade. You want to reflect, you want to use reflect, you make use of this. Insight, that is, you want to look at what is happening in your team. So the insight will give you what is happening, how people are making use of your team. You get feedback of what is happening inside your team. So let's go back to class notebook. Let's go back to class notebook. Now, the next thing that we need to do here is to set up a OneNote class notebook. Remember that what we want to use our teams for, whatever we are doing in our classroom is what we want to use our team for. We want to give notes, we want to give assessment, then we want to get feedback, we want to grade our learner, all embedded in Microsoft team. So once you come to your class notebook, you click on set up a OneNote class notebook. So please follow me here. So once you click on set up a class notebook, it will bring out this for you. Do you want a blank notebook or from existing notebook content? There is no existing notebook content. I want to bring out a blank notebook. So you click on blank notebook. Now, look at what it shows on the screen. It said here is what you will get in your Botswana High School Junior 1 student notebook. You can collaborate here. So we have a collaboration space under your class notebook. Team note are still here for everyone to see. All channels we have section here. So under collaboration, teachers can edit the content there, students can edit the content there. So we also have the content library. Under this content library, it's only the teacher that can edit, the student can only view. And this content library is actually where you put maybe your lesson notes, what you want the student to take home. So you put it under content library. Then we have the teacher session only. So it is only you that can see this. Maybe something that is private to you, maybe their evaluation sheets. So you can put it under teacher session only. It is only you that will have access to it. The student cannot view the content. Then we equally have the student notebook. So this one is also private for to each individual student. So teachers can edit it. Student can edit it for our own content, but it cannot view other student content. So these are what you will get in your class notebook. You have the space where you can collaborate, you can edit whatever you put there. Your student can also edit whatever is there. But under the content library, they can edit it. You are the only one that can edit whatever you put there. Then the teacher session only. You are the only one that can edit. You are the only one that can view it. Then we have the student notebook. The student can edit their own content alone. It's only used for our own content and it can view others. So we'll move on to next. Now, set up the session in each student private space. Now, in each of the student private space that I just showed us earlier, what are the things that you can put there? You can put your handout, the student handout there. You can put class notes there. You can put homework there. You can put quizzes there. Maybe in your own, you don't want handouts. You can just cancel handouts. If you don't want homework, you can cancel homework. But maybe I want assignments. You can put assignments there. So I want assignment to be on my own student private workspace. Then once you are sure of this, you click on create. So I'm creating my class notebook. That is what my class we have access to, what I'm going to engage my learners in the classroom with. So that is why we call it class notebook. So I'm trying to create it. It's like you are setting up a class. So that is what class notebook will do for you. You are setting up a class for your learner. So as you can see here, it said, welcome to class notebook. Your OneNote class is a digital notebook for the whole class to store and so on. Each notebook is organized into three parts, which I've told us earlier. Number one part says the student notebook, which is the private. That one is a private space shared between the teacher and each individual student. So teacher can access it, but it's only the students that can access their own. They can't access the other. Then we have the content library also, where all the students can have access to handouts, whatever the teacher put there, all the students can have access to it. Then we also have the collaboration space. Everyone can have access to that one. So here, if you look at something where my cursor is, it is called session. Session. So I want to click the session. You can see my session here. Now, this is actually where you begin to do your work under class notebook. So here we have collaboration space. Don't forget what I said about collaboration space. Students can edit, teachers can edit. So it's a collaboration. You can just come up there with something. So the student can have their own, you had your own, the student will have their own, you had your own. So you actually collaborate here. The student can edit, the teacher can edit, you can put anything there. That is collaboration space. And then if you want to do that also, these are the predefined content. So if you want to create your own, you can even delete this one if you want to delete this one. So you can just delete it, you can delete it away and then you put your own there. So if you want to put your own, you just add page. So you can go back, Jerry. So you just add engaging my student. So you can see that it has changed this to engaging my students. So here you can now put whatever you want to put there. Hello students. Can you just tell me what you ate yesterday? So you can see whatever you put there will be under engage my students. So all your students will have access to this page on your team, and they can put in their own comment there. They can put in their own writings there. So that is collaboration space. Then we have the content. The content is where the content library is where it is only you that can edit. The student cannot edit it. And usually under the content here, what you usually put there, maybe you put the note that you want the student to write. You put it under the content library. Maybe your lesson notes, you can put it there. Lesson note. So you put it here, then you come here. So if you have your lesson notes somewhere, you can input it, or you want to type it, you can type it there. Whatever you have as your lesson notes, you can just put it here for your learners so they will see it. Maybe you have it somewhere, you can insert. If you have the file somewhere, you can insert the file. You can just put your lesson note here. So the student will only have access to it. They can delete it. So whatever you want to put here, you just click on add page and then you put the content there. As the student, all the students that you have added to your team, they will have access to that, your content. It is only you that will have access to it. It's only the teacher that will have access to it. So whatever you put here, my evaluation sheet. Whatever you put under teacher only, it is you alone that will have access to it. Then here, the session for individual students. Don't forget what I said earlier, that under class notebook, we are for individual students. If you have 1,000 students in your team, so that is how it will list all the students here. So you can actually engage the student one after the other. Student A is doing on student name, you can see. So what do you want to put there? I want to put class notes there. So just click on class notes. Assignment, I want to put assignment there, you click on assignment. I want to put quiz there, you click on quiz. So you can see whatever you want to put there. If it is assignment, you put it there. So it is only the student. What is Mr. Niger D? So it's only Adebanjo that will see this assignment. So if you also give another assignment, he or she will not have access to the assignment you give to the other student. So it is a separate, assignment. Student A will not have access to what student B is doing. Student B will not have access to what student C is doing. And then you can begin to add as many pages as you want, depending on what you want to engage your learners with. So that is about using the class notebook. Don't forget I said, so once you create your team, you add your student to the team. If you have additional teacher, you add additional teacher to the team. So the next thing is for you to begin to engage your learner using the OneNote class notebook. And what I've shown us thus far is what we can use the OneNote class notebook to do. There is a collaboration space there that you can just use to collaborate with our learners. Then we have the content library where we actually drop the content, our lesson note for our students to view and maybe peradventure to copy in their note. Then we equally have the teacher session only, where you only as a teacher, we have access to it. And then we have the student session, where individual students, have access to their individual learning processes. So that is about class notebook. And then all these that you are seeing are what you can actually use whenever you are making use of your typing area. So this area is your typing area. You can type whatever you want to type there. You can draw, you can insert, you can use math assistance, you can input symbol, and so on and so forth. So the next thing is assignment. So once we have engaged our learners under the class notebook, the next thing is we want to give our learners assignment. So you just click on assignment. Click on assignment. So you can see that I've clicked on assignment and it's coming up. So here we have create assignment. Create assignment. You just click on create. So what type of assignment are you creating? Is it the normal assignment or quiz? Is it normal assignment or quiz? Let me just click on normal assignment. So you can see it will ask you what's the title of your assignment. What's the title of your assignment? Maybe let me just say English essay 1. That's the title of my assignment. So the next thing is the instruction. So you can attach the instruction, that is the assignment you want your students to perform. You can attach it here. Maybe write an essay on on diet. Let me just use that. So maybe this is what you just want to engage them with. You have some other one there. maybe you want to add something from Word document. Maybe you already have the assignment in a Word document. You can just pick it from here, or it's even Excel, if it is PowerPoint presentation, if it is class notebook page, if it is a recording video, you can just add this from here to the instruction. Then you can equally add from OneDrive. Maybe you have it from OneDrive, you have it from class notebook, you have it from a link, you have it from your team. There's also the reading progress. Maybe you want to assess your learners by their reading. You want to monitor their reading progress, their reading accuracy. You can equally just pick on that. So you click on reading progress. So I'm waiting for my reading progress. So I want to assess the reading progress of my learner. So you can see, okay, what do I want my learners to read? I can import it. It said import. Where do I have it? Let me just import it from my device. So I want to import what my learner will read from my device. So it's coming up. Okay, so you can see that it has come up. So let me just look for a document here. Okay, let me just pick this one. This is what I want my learners to read. So the document is coming up. You can see that the document has come up. So I have 274 words here. Then once I'm done with importing, I just click on next. So you can see that it has put the assignment there, reading progress. It has put it in my instruction for my learner. Then maybe I want to put points there. Let's say 5 points. Then the date, Friday. What the date that I want them to submit the assignment. So that is the due date. Then you can see from my screen say assigned to Botswana High School Junior 1 alone. So don't assign to students added to this class in the future. Any student that was added in the future, they won't have access to the assignments. So that's what this one is saying. You can edit it, and also the due date also you can edit it. And then once you are sure of all your settings here, then you just click on assign. So once I click on assign, it will drop in the notification. So all my students will see it under the notification that I've dropped an assignment for them that is due for submission tomorrow. So this is one assignment here. You can create as many assignments as possible. So if I go to my general now, it will have dropped it in the notification for them. You can see it under notification. So all my students will see it. So what they just need to do is just for them to come here and click view assignment. So once they view the assignment, they can just do the assignment and then submit the assignment for me. So you can see the beauty of using Microsoft Teams. So whatever you can do physically, you can equally do it virtually via Microsoft Teams, as regard engaging our learners even beyond the four walls of the classroom. So you can see what it brings out here for me. It said assignment, the four have access to the assignment, so they have not checked this. That's why it's saying not turning. That is, they've not have access to that. They've not clicked the assignment. So once they open the assignment, it will show here that they have turned in, and it will give me the feedback. So mine is just to check their feedback and then grade them here. So that is how to make use of the assignment tab on our class team. So if you have 1,000 students, all of them, they will have access to that assignment. So that is on that. Then the next thing is grade. Let's move on to grade. So the next thing is grade. So the grading will just show us the points. So you can see So I then being my students have taken the assignment, I will see their grade. I will see their grade here. So you can see maybe once I've opened what they did, I can give them grade here. I can just give them the grade here depending on what my student did. And then I can export the grade, to Excel. And then I can now push it forward to my student to see. So that is grade tab under our Microsoft Team class account. So the same way you give notes to your students in the classroom, or you do explanation to your students in the classroom, you give assignments to your students, you grade what your student did. So the same way you did it in the physical classroom, you can equally do it here virtually using Microsoft Team. Then we equally have the reflect. So reflect is just like chatting with your learners, trying to get their feeling. So that is what reflect is all about. So you're trying to get the feelings of your learners, whether they are bored, whether you just click on new checking. So you just maybe select one or two there. How are you feeling today? How do you feel this week? How are you feeling about the entire topic? Just to get their feedback. So just to get their feedback, and then you can set in, you have open for 8 hours. That is, for how many hours do you want the reflection to cease on your to cease existing on your team? Is it for 8 hours? You can always change. Maybe for 15 minutes, for 24 hours. Then post to general. Maybe you want all the students to see it, and then emotion, student don't see responses, or you don't want the student to see the response that they are giving. So if you want them to see the response, you can just select this one. So once you select all this one, you can just click on create checking. Create checking. So you can see that the checking is already there. Then once your learners check their general tab, so they will see there, they can now reflect, give you feedback on how they feel about it's just like getting a feedback during the course of the of the lesson. So you can view your check-in thread, you can have new check-in insights. Insights will give you the number of time, the statistics of how your learners visit your class, your notes. So you can get that from insights. You can see the development of your learners. You can see your learners, the learning pattern of your students, and you can equally see the well-being, of your class. You can see these are my students. All the 4 of them will have different kind of reports there. So maybe you just click, you see it, the class. You can see yet to have anything to do with the class. The same to Vincent, I sent the same to Josu Lanke, the same to Mojisola. So Insight allows you to see how your learners are engaging with your class, team on the platform. So let me just pause here for a few minutes before we move on to the next thing that we need to discuss here, which has to do with scheduling a meeting. But before that, let me quickly have a feedback if what we are saying, since if we have any issue, any clarification that you want us to get, you want more clarification, please let's just use the chat box for that. Any area that you want clarification, So please, can we use the chat box if there are areas we need clarification? Please, let's use the chat box. Okay, it's a wonderful tool. Yes, very, very wonderful tool that if we are able to master Microsoft Team, we are good to go with our learners wherever they may be. So Team is a very wonderful tool. Okay, I don't have access to create a team. How do I go about that? Okay, for now, I know that Mr. Ayo will give us a cue on how to do that, because presently the accounts they've not given you the administrative right to actually make use of all the function in your own team. But I know that uh, even before this training ends today, they should do something about that so that you can practice what we are discussing this morning. So you will have access to creating a team. I can assure you that you have access to it. Okay, more clarity on insight, please. Okay, so that means you are satisfied with how to create a team, how to add learner student to our team. Please let me just ask us this question. I think we are over 80 something here. So please, if you can create a class team yourself, can you just give me a yes on the chat box? You can create a team on a class team on your own. If you can create a class team on your own, can you just give me a yes on the chat box? I can create a chat team. I can add student to my class. I can add teacher to my class. Oh, wonderful. Mutiwa is saying, I think I can. You can, you can, you can. I agree with you that you can do it, you can do it. Okay, quite a lot to absorb. Yes, beauty. But by the time you begin to make use of it, you're just good to go. You're good to go. It's a wonderful package. It's a wonderful app that once we begin to use it, we will love it, except for a network issue. Like some of us are having one or two network issue there, and that is understandable. But by and large, I think we still need to give it to Microsoft. We still need to give it to Office 365 for providing this wonderful app for us. Okay, I think I've had quite a whole number of people that can create a class team. That's wonderful. I give all of us a clapping, a clap. Let me just say, I give all of us a clap. Those of us that can do it. Then the next question that I want to equally ask us is that, okay, after creating your class team, you had your student to your class, you had your other teacher to your class. Can you make use of the class notebook? That is, I showed us a tab where we have the home page, the class notebook. So you can make use of the class notebook. Can I also have a yes from you? I need to be sure that you actually got, those very important tips on how to create a class team, how to use the OneNote class notebook, because that is the essence of this training. I'm believing God for every one of us as educators that when next I will be hearing from us, when next we'll be seeing our face, we're going to be making use of Microsoft Teams to engage our learners. Oh, wonderful. So we can use OneNote class notebook to, arrange our learners, that is, using the collaboration space, using the content library, then using the teacher only session and then the student session. We understand all the functions of all those sessions. The collaboration space, don't forget I told us that the collaboration space, the student, the teacher can edit at free will. So it's an open space. You come in, you play with one another. That is on the collaboration space. Then when it comes to the content, it's only what you drop there. It is only you, the teacher, that can edit it. So that place is where you drop your lesson note, maybe the one you used to write on the board for them in the normal convention classroom. So you drop it under the content library. Then we equally have the teacher only, where you keep your personal documents. It's only visible to you. The student doesn't have access to it. Then we equally have the individual student session, where it's only the student that will see what the teacher has dropped for them. Now listen to me, distinguished educators. One advantage of that student only session is that you can actually monitor the progress of your individual students. You can monitor them individually, so you can develop them at their own pace, by relating with them using the individual students session. So the students individually, and that will give you the opportunity of actually concentrating on the strength of a student, and then also trying to improve on the weakness of a student. So that session also plays a very, very great role for us as educators. So thank you so much. So far, so good. I want to believe that what we've discussed so far, we've talked about Microsoft Teams, what we use Microsoft Teams for, how to launch Microsoft Teams. We've talked about navigating the tab. We've talked about creating a class team. We've talked about navigating tabs on the class team. We've talked about using OneNote class notebook. We've talked about creating assessments. Yes, let me equally ask us. I want to believe none is having a challenge using the assignment. I want to believe there is no issue as regard the usage of assignment tab on our class team. No issue on assignment? Okay, wonderful. All right, then grading also, I believe there are no issue. So please, I want to appeal, if there are issues, if you have any issue as regard Microsoft Team, please kindly drop it on the chat box. That is one reason this training is being organized by our employer. And I will not just want us to be here, spend 2 hours and then, then going back, we won't be able to do what we came here for. So that will be so painful, to me as your facilitator. That will be so painful to our employer, considering the huge resources they've committed to this project. So if you have any challenge as regards what we've discussed so far, I know we may not be able to practicalize it now, but I want to encourage you, even immediately we finish this session, those that you feel you can contact, just contact them to activate your full license so that you can be able to create a team, work around the OneNote class, the assessment tab, and then the grading tab also. So God bless us. Let's move on again. So the last thing here has to do. Okay, Lauren is asking a question. I asked a question that after creating a class, is it possible that the learner can exit the class without the consent of the teacher? Yes, definitely a learner can leave a class unless the teacher locked the class. By and large, it's a free will. A learner can leave the class. A learner can leave the class, and even you as teacher, you can even delete a learner from the class. I will show us. So where we can do that. Let me quickly show that to Mr. Lauren. Let me quickly show that. Okay, let me see. Let me just go back to my team. Okay, let me go back to my team. Okay. So here is, you can see that Botswana High School Junior Student 1 is already appearing under my team. So I want to, so you can see here. So Mr. Lauren that asked the question. So if once you are added to a team, let me go back. If as a student, all our students also, they will have access to Microsoft Team platform. So once you add a student, this page or this box, let me use this, will automatically show on their team. So if your learner decided to leave, what you will just do is that these three dots, you will just click on these three dots. You can see manage a team, add channel to a team, add member to a team, leave team. So if your learner click on leave team, it will automatically leave that team. Or you want to delete the team, you can delete from here. You want to get a link, maybe you want to share the link to others to join your team. So you can just get the link here and then you share it. Maybe you want to edit the theme, you click on edit. You want to add member, you click on add member. You want to add channel, you click on add channel. You want to manage your team, you click on manage your team. So I think I've answered your question. All right. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, ma. So I think I've answered your question, ma. So okay, so welcome, Mr. Ayo is here. Please, Mr. Ayo, somebody is asking a very cogent question here that has to do with the activation of the account. Okay, they said they don't have the full license. I don't know if you have. All right, sir.
Thank you. I want to appreciate our participants and to really assure them that we are working assiduously with the ministry to convince the system, the entire system. I mean, what I mean by system, I mean the Ministry of Education in Botswana, to really see the potentials around giving you that full license. Already you have the license, the full licenses, only that they are not fully activated. But based on what the ministry shared with us as regards some of the constraints that may warrant restrictions that we are experiencing today, I think they are much more of teachers creating several teams that they cannot coordinate. That at a point in time to be so hard for that strong coordination from Ministry of Education's perspective. So they are trying to do a sense of central coordination. So that is not to say you will not have access to the full access this time around, not full license, because you already have full licenses, all of you, both the teachers, the students, and ministry officials. But full access is what we are talking about. So at a point in time when they are done with the planning, with the structure of how teams can actually work from the table of the Minister for Education to the #1 student in Botswana, then they will open the full access to you. So they are still trying to build so many structures together with the teams to make sure that we don't get stuck along the way when taking up the full implementation. However, this conversation is something that will still continue to drive with the ministry, but we don't want to put you on hold, thereby calling you to again for this session when the full access is granted. So it's better for you to understand the dynamics around all of these things, to keep them in your archive, in your knowledge base, so that as soon as we have the full access, then you can begin to work around with them. So there wouldn't be any need to bring you back here to begin to expose you to some of these things that we are using the opportunity this time to do. That is what I would like to share. So you can go on to, I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it answers the question, sir.
Okay, so you can go on to the other session of today's event, please.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Now, the next thing that we need to do now has to do with scheduling a meeting. Scheduling a meeting, just like the one that we're doing now. So we want to schedule a meeting for our learner so that we can see face to face. We can share ideas together face to face. So we want to schedule a meeting. So let me just go back to my team. So we want to schedule a meeting. How do we do that? Now, scheduling a meeting is also very, very okay. Somebody is asking about insight the other time. Then I will come back to insight. Now, if you can see my screen, I talked about reflection the other time. So you can see that it has put it on the chart here. So all my students will be able to see this question, how are you feeling today? And they will be able to give a response, just a sort of, getting their feeling, feedback about the whole class. So that's what reflect is all about. Yeah. So we want to create a meeting. You can see from here where you have meet. Well, I want to schedule a new meeting now. So what I just need to do is to come here and click on schedule a meeting. If I want the meeting to hold now, I will just click on meet now. So if I click on meet now, so the meeting will commence automatically. So all my students will get a notification that there is a meeting that is going on presently. So they will get a notification on their devices that a meeting of their class is going on. So scheduling a meeting simply means maybe the meeting is starting in an hour's time, or tomorrow, or day before, day after tomorrow. So that is where you use schedule a meeting. Another way you can create a meeting is by using the calendar. Using the calendars, you can see calendar here. So if you click on calendar here, so I've clicked on calendar. So the calendar, you can see that the calendar comes up. So today is 13th of April, a Thursday, and we are around 10 o'clock. This is the time here. Just about 2 minutes to 10 here. I think it should be around to 11 there in Botswana. So here we have new meeting. So if you click on this arrow, I'm having here schedule a meeting. I'm having schedule a webinar. I'm having a lecture. I'm having a class. If it is a class that you want to schedule, you click on class. If it is a meeting that you want to schedule, you click on meeting. Now, the only difference between the 4 options here has to do with the meeting option. Now, let me click class. So I've clicked on class. It's just the meeting option. So you can see what it brings out for me. It's loading the option. Now, if I choose class, already it comes with some options here. For example, who can present? It is only me and a co-organizer. So if I choose a class, nobody can bypass the lobby. That is, nobody can be a part of the class except me and the co-organizer. Then it's only me and the co-organizer that can present. No other person can present except I change it here. Then I equally have allow mic for attendees, allow camera for attendees. Maybe those that are attending, I want their mic to be working, just like your own. Your own mic is not working. So this is what is done to your own. They have to mute your mic from here. So if I mute the mic here, if I mute the camera here, once you join the meeting, automatically your mic, your camera won't work. it won't work. It's only if I allow it that it will work. Then we also have another one here, allow meeting chat. That is during the meeting. That's when I only want your chat to appear. So if I don't want to allow it, I can just disable it or enable it. So those are just the difference between the different category of schedule, meeting schedule that we have. Then we have the lecture also. If it's a lecture that you want to, present, normally a lecture. So you can see this one here that allow meeting chat enabled. That is, the participant can drop their chat during the presentation. Then we have another one there. Let's check the other one, webinar. That's webinar may not, okay. So that one is still loading. It takes some time to load. Then we have this one, schedule a meeting. Now, if I click on schedule a meeting, I click on schedule a meeting. So now I want to schedule a meeting. So the very first thing you need to do here is add the title of your meeting. Class, let me just say, okay, GS1 class meet. That's the title I want to give to my meeting. Then who are the attendees? I can just call out the name of my student. I can just call out one name. Let me just call out one name as an attendee. Then the date of the meeting. The date of the meeting. So you can see, you can select the date here. So here I have 13th of April, which is today, 10:30 a.m. Then till just a 30 minutes, you can change the timing. Maybe it's a 2 hours meeting. So you see, you change it here. If you want to add a channel, fine. If you don't have a channel, no problem. So let me also add another student here. Okay. Okay. Let me remove the unknown. Okay, so if you want to repeat, if you want it to repeat daily, you can just add repeat daily. Okay, for how many days? Repeat every day, 1 day. Okay, just for 1 week, you save it. Then which other, maybe you want to add a channel to it. Okay, Botswana, let me just add Botswana to it, the general channel. Okay. All right, so I've succeeded in creating my meeting. So the next thing is just to click send. So once you click on send, your meeting link will appear. You can see that it has appeared here on my calendar. So those my students that I've added as participants to the meeting, they will get a notification of this meeting immediately. Or another thing that we can do is that we can just copy the link. We can just copy the link of the meeting. You can see here, you just right click, then you click on copy link. So you can just copy the link and then you send it to their chat box. You can just send it to their chat boss, or you can send it if they are on WhatsApp, you can send it to their WhatsApp. So once they just click on the link, so they will join the meeting straight away. So when that, so you can see here that is showing that schedule the meeting occur every day. Then this is the link to the, so anybody who has this link can actually join the meeting. So that is how to create a meeting using the calendar. So the same, maybe you also want to use, you want to schedule your home meeting from here, the same procedure. Just click on the down arrow here, click on scheduled a meeting. If you click on meet now, automatically it will start the meeting. Maybe let me click on meet now. So I want to click on meet now. So you can see where it took me to. It said, do I want to allow my mic? So I allowed my mic. So it's loading. Okay, I just hope that it doesn't disrupt the other one that I'm doing. Want audio. So if you don't want the audio, you can just click on continue without the audio. And so, but let me just, I don't want to, let me just go back so that it will not disrupt my other presentation. So if you just click on meet now, it will take you to that platform, and then just as you join this class meeting, so that is the same way you join, the meeting. So let me go back to creating from my team. So I don't want to go through the calendar now. Let's just go through my team. So you can see this is my team here, my class team. And I want to schedule a meeting from my class team here. So I just come here, I click on schedule the meeting. Schedule the meeting. Okay, you can see that the same thing it brought the other time, that's what it's bringing now. Then you click the title, you add the title, GS1 class. Okay, let me just use capital letter, GS1 class meet 2. So which time did we want to? It's still today. Let's say that comes up 11 o'clock. So this comes off 11 o'clock, and this is for, let's say, just an hour to 2 o'clock. Then attendee, let me just add an attendee. Let me add George Gift as an attendee. And then, so let me just add George Gift as an attendee. Then from there, you just click on send. So once you send the meeting, as you can see that automatically the meeting link appear here. So once my students see the link on their chat, on their conversation channel, so you just click on this, it will take them to the meeting at the exact time. So you can equally fill the meeting details and then look at the time that the meeting, you can click on the link, you can copy the link here, you can share the link also, the link, copy link. So you can see I right click to copy the link of the meeting. So you can copy the link of the meeting, then you can place it, you can just paste it. So let me just close it. I want to go back to my team. Okay, so you can just paste it also here for them to click. So that is how to schedule a new meeting in Microsoft Teams. So you can schedule the meeting via your classmates. You can schedule the meeting via your calendar. That is, you can schedule the meeting from your calendar here. You can equally schedule the meeting from here. So let me go back to our chat box to see if there are questions so that we can. Okay, how do you add many attendees at the same time? Is it to the class? Which one are you? Okay, your video is not working. So I believe everyone can hear me.
Yes.
All right. So I'm asking Mr. Petrus Manabala is asking a question. How do you add many attendees at the same time? So which of the attendees are you asking? Is it for meeting or for class? Which of the attendees now? I guess it should be for the meeting. So you can add as many attendees at the same time as possible. Once you know their username, so you can just, call the username into action. If you don't know their username and then you want many people to attend your meeting, you just go and click on copy the link and then just drop it wherever you have your targeted audience. Once they click on the link, then you just allow them, you admit them into the meeting. So that is just how to add many attendees, to your meeting. Or peradventure, if they are even in a channel, so you can add your attendees via the channel. So if you include a channel into your meeting, so every members of that channel will automatically be a part of that meeting and they will receive notification as regards, the meeting. Okay, kindly repeat how to copy a link for a team meeting, if I'm right. Is it a link for a team meeting or for a team? They are two different teams. They are two different things. So is it a link for a team meeting or a link for a team? So please, Tishepo Molosiwa, please kindly expatiate on that question. Is it a link for a team meeting or for a class team? Okay, for a team meeting. Okay, let me just see. I hope my screen is still displaying. So to copy a link is very simple. Let me just go. Let me use this one. Then I will go back to. Let me go to that of the calendar first. So let me just click on my calendar. Now this is the meeting schedule here. The first one is here, the second one is here. So I want to copy the link. What I just need to do is to right click. Just right click on the meeting info. This is the meeting information. Right click on it and then you will see copy link. So you can see once you click on copy link, then wherever you want to paste it, you just paste it there. If you want to paste it on your group WhatsApp or student WhatsApp, whichever place you want to paste it, just copy it from here and paste it there. So that's number one. Then another way to do it from the conversation box is that you just right click or you click here also. It will bring out meeting details. You click on meeting details. So it's bringing out my meeting details. So you scroll down. So you can see where you have click here to join the meeting. Where we have click here to join the meeting, you right click it, then you copy the link. You can see. So where you have click here to join meeting, you right click. That is, you press the right button on your mouse and then you click on copy link. So once you click on copy link, you can now come back and paste it in your team or in your chat box. So this, you just click here and then you paste it. So you can see I've pasted it again. So that is how to copy meeting link. All right, thank you, Beauty. So I think I've answered your question. So please, we have just about 15 minutes to do a recap of what we've done today. But before we do the recap, I quickly want to ask again, is there any area that is not yet clear to us when it comes to launching your Microsoft team from Office 365? All repeat how the link comes automatically. Yes, automatically where? Maybe you equally expatiate on that. Now, once you create a meeting, it will generate the link automatically, on its own. So you are not the one generating the link, it will generate the link automatically on its own. Yours is just to go there, copy the link and paste it somewhere where your targeted attendees will have access, to the link. Once they just click on the link, it will take them to where the meeting is holding. All right, thank you so much. Thanks. Okay. So I'm waiting for.
There's something. Hello.
All right, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if you can share the breakout rooms dynamics for our participants. Probably if they want to divide their students for group or collaborative session or class. So if you can make do with, let me share my screen to show
maybe,
you.
Mr. Odeogola, sir.
Okay.
Let me just stop sharing my own screen here. Okay. And let me just give you the platform for the next 15 minutes so that I can take a small water.
Okay.
All right, let me stop sharing, sir.
Okay. So let me just share with us the need to understand how to create rooms. So why do we need rooms in the first place? Of course, before that time, we've understood how chat works, how the people. Let me share the entire screen so that we'll see what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, yes, this is the screen. This is my screen, the entire screen, and this is what I expect you to see. So I'm sharing a whole lot of what is happening here in the meeting room in this particular class. So we've had experience around chatting. We've seen some of us doing the chatting, had experience about people, which the trainer had really intimated us on how to hard people, how to stop them, what happens here. And let me speak further on some of the things we've actually deactivated here. Of course, the trainer mentioned it on when you are setting your meetings, how you could disable some features so that you create a sensible learning environment so that you don't start to struggle around disruptions from any student or participant in this case while you are focusing on your training delivery, because that can really give you that sense of a distraction. Imagine you having your thought processes, bringing them together, and someone from somewhere just unmute his mic. Probably the person is in the market place. So you can imagine how you can quickly toggle around, disabling the person's mic. And as you are doing that, you're returning back to your thought process. Someone else is actually doing something else. So it can create a destructive environment, learning environment, so to say. That was what led to the idea of bringing in some features and restricting participants at the point of creating a meeting. That's why you have your mics muted. That's why you have your video cameras muted too, deactivated rather. So it will be easier for us to be attentive and to focus on our attention span. So back to the other options. You've seen the raise hand button, what you can do with raise hand, and react and view. What do we have in view session? That is really inconsequential at this moment. But what we need to understand about view session is to create a new outlook of how our environment seems to be. Let me change from gallery to together mode. You can see this is what we should be expecting. Probably I want to bring the sense of the conventional classroom into the heart of our students, even while they are on Microsoft Teams. Yes, once I choose this and I apply, if I apply, you can see that the background has changed. So this scene for the learning has changed. I can now come here to say, okay, I think I've enabled your camera. Please, can you just put on your camera and let us see what is happening here? For everyone that is putting your camera, you begin to see yourself and your position. Please, let's see that being demonstrated. For anyone that can put your camera, thank you. You can see this is something that is so imaginable. So your student can feel the essence of the typical lecture hall or typical classroom while they're on Teams. This are some of the things that brings the best part of learning experiences. So we are talking about remote learning. We are talking about blended education. So all these are features that you can always feel. Thank you. I've seen everyone coming on board. So this is nice to experience. I will even take a screenshot of all this particular session and put it in our group for us to have some documentation as archives. So this is what Together Mode is all about. And back to view, let me change it to gallery. Back to gallery. Okay, let me deactivate Together Mode. You can see we can have up to 12 or 15 or thereabout from the Together Mode to this new mode. You can see ourselves. This usually speaks around conventional mode that we always see if we are probably in typical video sessions. So as you can see, so that let me jump to apps. Of course, if you want to add an app, probably you want to add YouTube or some other apps that can enhance your learning. You want to create polls. You want to add. Let me scroll down for us. You can see you can even add YouTube to your classroom while you are having your class. Other things are there. You can get more apps. You can search for apps. You can even add forms. Yeah, I've talked about camera mic. So back to the breakout room sessions. Okay. We need to have breakout rooms in most cases when we are running collaborative learning. What happens when we choose breakout rooms? That means in every 50 class, in every 50 students in a class, we may want to break them into 4 or 5. That implies that if it's to be 5, we should be having 10 per each group. Then we can choose to assign teams manually, and we can choose that of automatic, because at this time, I can also select the number of rooms I want to create. Mind you, I must know the total number of my students so that we can have even distribution. Let's assume I have 50 students in the class and I want to have 10 in each group. It's important that I choose 5 so that to have the minimal group sessions, and we put tens of students in each of the groups. Then once that is done, I can now jump to assigning participants to different groups. Like I said, I can do this automatically and I can do it manually. If I'm to do it automatically, that implies that teams will automatically put everyone in different groups. In fact, some of our teachers would love to experience this because we want to bring teams together. We want to bring groups together at random. We don't want to have so many sentiments attached to grouping students, like to say, okay, these are best students, let me group them in one place. So we want to allow teams to group everyone automatically. If I pick automatically, that implies that for all the 5 groups we have, the entire students will be grouped into 5 groups. So students will not mind the group where they belong. They will just find themselves in a group. But if I'm to choose manually, these are the next steps that will follow. Probably once I click on create, we expect to see new layers of engagement. That is to say, because I want to choose manually, I can say, okay, what if I pick room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4? I can change it to say group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. But that is not really what we wanted to achieve now. So I can begin to assign participants. Once I begin to assign participants, you can all see these are participants in this call. All of you are here. I can begin to say, okay, you 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me click on. I'm expecting the assign button to be on. If I'm to assign, I can say room 1. Let me start to assign 1 because I'm doing this manually. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this implies that once I click assign, this is to say the room 1 or group 1 is already having members assigned. So you can see room 1 and list of those that have been assigned to be in that group. This can only be activated when you start your class, not before the class, unlike when you're starting the meeting. You just have to establish the number of students that are available on the call on the class in the class meeting at that time before you start assigning, because teams will only identify those who are presently those who are present during your class session, not those who are not those who are yet to join or those who are not available. So that is what happens. Now I can go on to say, okay, let me go to room 2. Let me go to room 2 to say, okay, room 2, I want to assign the rest to room 2. I can do this on and on to assign all the students. Let me assume that I'm done with the assigning. Then I can now create open. Once I create open in the, with the intention that all the participants have been assigned, you remember all of you just find yourself in different groups. So there you start your session, and let me see rooms. Okay, all participants have been assigned. Some the room 2 is opening. It's trying to put some people. Okay, we notice you've spoken. Okay, keep it raised. Okay, thank you. So you can see it begins to keep people in different rooms. I can now say, okay, at this moment, let me do a kind of deletion or what have you. These are the things you experience when you do breakout rooms. It allows students to have different sense of belonging, probably when you are doing collaborative work or project work that you're actually bringing them together. Of course, I want to do a kind of deactivation and go back to the menu. So it's just to give us a sense of what we can do with try and coming. Let me just see the meeting. Okay, so this is what we can do. These are the things we can do with Microsoft Teams, particularly when it comes to bringing our students to blended learning. So in this case, I think I'm done with the breakout session, unless okay, let me close. I can close. Let me close and so that we can go back to our entire rooms. So I wouldn't know if we have questions or queries or concerns. Let me go to the chat thread. Okay. Maybe these are existing these are existing questions, so I don't want to create a distraction. So by and large, we've been so much exposed to what Teams is all about, and thanks to Mr. Kenny, who had actually done justice to OneNote class notebook. And like I said earlier, and I'm still reiterating it, we're in talk with the Ministry of Education, and we're trying to see how we can make sure that you have the full license or the full access this time around, because that's the beauty of you understanding what teams can actually do in your respective classrooms. So at the end of today's call, we'll still put a call through the management or the stakeholders involved in this training to reiterate and remind them on the need to grant you full licenses. Of course, they are working on so many things that they actually showed to us that warranted the need to support them in the area of allowing you guys to hold on to the finish the structure that they're trying to build for us to have a seamless system that can bring together students, teachers, and even ministry workers into one single tenant like what we have in Microsoft Teams. So Mr. Kenny, you can go on. I think it's already 10:30. Probably you have some closing remarks or you have assignment for your participants. I wouldn't know. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, sir. I think if there is anything I will just want to say in 1 minute is that for us to try as much as possible to lay our hands on Microsoft Team, let us explore how we can navigate the various tabs on our Microsoft Teams, and equally how we can create class, how we can schedule a meeting, how we can create a breakout rooms, the one we just learned now. And then above all, I just want to encourage us that we just, see the little we've been able to do today as a stepping stone. So let's, be intentional about our own learning. Let's look for more resources on Microsoft Team, a lot of resources on the web that can actually, aid the little we've been able to share with us this morning. And if there is any assignment I will give us, unfortunately, you don't have access to the full, application now. So the only assignment I will just give us is that, okay, let's just, uh, keep watching the video. The video will be sent back to the chat button, to the chat uh, platform in a couple of minutes. Let's go through the video again and again. And if there are areas we feel we still need one or two explanation on, let's drop it on the chat box. We will definitely continue our responses via the chat box. So once again, I want to hand over to Mr. Just to round up to this session. So
Okay, yes, we are done, except if we will have one or two questions that can be thrown into the chat thread. We've been advising us to make do with the chat thread probably now and later. If we have issues that we can resolve, we are there to help you with through the journey of this 3-day session and beyond. So that session, that thread will still be active even after Friday for some time to see what we can do with you to support you in the journey. So for tomorrow, we'll be delving into Microsoft Educator Center to see great opportunities that have been. You can imagine, I have actually activated our mics, so you can begin to see the intrusion. So let me try to. So you can see what happens. Before we call it a day, I wanted to allow us speak, probably to say hi or to do one or to experience some other versions of Teams, probably to give ourselves closing remarks. So because of that, I omitted all of us. While I was doing that, I began to see disruptions while I was speaking. So it's very important when you are creating your meeting, when you're setting up your class,